Okay, welcome everyone to the deep dive. Today we're digging into some source material you sent over. It's a specific online listing. We're going to do a deep dive on this one property, 116 Ingram Street in Manchester, Tennessee. Basically, our goal here is to quickly, cut through the fluff and pull out the key details, the features, everything the listing tells us about this house. And right off the bat, let's get this out there. The listing agent mentioned is Chris Rains with Epique Realty.
Yeah, Chris Rains, Epique Realty. And it's always interesting what you can glean just by looking really closely at how these listings are put together. The details matter.
Totally. Okay, so let's unpack this listing then. What we've got is a single-family home. It's a ranch style.
Classic ranch.
Built back in 1976. Specs are 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom.
Okay, and size-wise?
It's 12,205 square feet. Sits on a, 0.32 acre lot. So decent yard space.
Right, 1,205 square feet, typical for that era, maybe. So that's the basic structure. But like you said, the details, what about the condition and the price?
Okay, price. They're asking $245,000.
$245K. And I noticed in the source material there was a price adjustment recently.
Yep, good catch. Just happened on June 9th. They dropped it by $3,000.
Okay, a $3K cut. Interesting.
Now, the thing that really jumps out, at least to me, is in that what's special section. They list a ton of updates.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
Well, a new roof, that's a big one. Updated kitchen, it says stone countertops, stainless steel appliances, new floors, like throughout the whole house.
Oh, okay.
And a renovated tile shower in the bathroom.
So these aren't just, paint and carpet. These sound like pretty substantial upgrades for a 76 build. New roof, kitchen, floors, bath.
Exactly. Significant stuff. Systems and surfaces.
And presumably that's informing the $245,000 price point. That works out to, about $203 per square foot?
Yeah, $203 a square foot. And that's the number you want to compare, right? Not just against any house, but against other updated homes nearby.
Right. Context is key there. What else does the listing mention? Like systems, features?
Let's see. It's got central electric for heating and cooling. Standard appliances included electric oven, dishwasher, public water and sewer, so no well or septic to worry about.
Okay. Standard utility.
It's listed as 1 story, has a covered porch, and mentions a fully fenced backyard, describes it as extra large, so that 0.32 acres is put to use.
A fenced yard is always a plus for, pets or kids.
Definitely. Now, one detail that often makes people pause is the tax assessment versus the list price.
Ah, yes, the classic discrepancy. What's the assessment here?
The source shows it assessed at $98,000, which means the annual property taxes are pretty low, just $889.
Right. And it's crucial for buyers and really anyone looking to understand that assessed value is, well, it's for tax purposes. It almost never matches the market value.
Especially after major renovations like the ones listed here.
Exactly. The seller is pricing based on the perceived market value with those updates. The low assessed value just means, lower holding costs for the buyer tax-wise, which is a benefit.
Right. Okay, let's shift to the market activity. What does the source tell us?
Well, it's been on Zillow for 93 days. So about 3 months.
93 days. But it seems to have gotten some attention.
Yeah, decent amount. The source says 586 days and 33 shares. That's not insignificant online traction.
And here's a kind of a contradictory data point, maybe. Despite being on the market 93 days,
Yeah.
the listing platform itself, Zillow presumably, has a note saying it's likely to sell faster than 70% of nearby properties.
Okay, so 93 days on market, decent save shares or recent price cut, and the platform thinks it should move relatively quickly compared to others.
Yeah, it's an interesting mix of signals, isn't it? Gives you a snapshot of its current position, maybe.
It does. And there was one other phrase in the description that stood out.
What was that?
It explicitly says motivated seller.
Ah, yes. You don't always see that spelled out.
No, you don't. And in real estate speak, that's often interpreted as a signal, right? It can suggest they're keen on a quicker sale, maybe more open to negotiation.
Could be. It's an inference, of course, but it's a detail they chose to include.
Precisely. Adds another layer.
Okay, so let's try to wrap this up then. We've done our deep dive into the listing for 116 Ingram Street, Manchester, Tennessee. Again, listed by Chris Rains with Epique Realty. It's a ranch, built 76, 3-bed, 1-bath, 1,205 square feet on about 1/3 of an acre.
Extensively renovated, new roof, kitchen, floors, bath. Priced at $245,000 after that recent $3,000 price reduction.
And the market picture shows 93 days listed on Zillow, but with, pretty solid online engagement, those saves and shares.
Yeah, and that interesting platform note saying it's likely to sell faster despite the time on market.
So here's the final thought to leave you with. You've got these significant renovations, right? You've got the explicit motivated seller tag,
Yeah.
and you have this likely to sell faster note despite it sitting for 3 months already. What might you, listening to this, kind of infer about the market dynamics right there, or maybe the story behind the specific listing?
Yeah, it makes you think, doesn't it? About all the signals and the whole picture beyond just the basic numbers and photos. Lots to consider there.